Hey, they're not our normal intro, but that's okay. I'm still working out the kinks on doing this producing thing because our normal producer is not here. But he's a working man now, and so we give him all props for that. Anyway, it's J Mac here with you, and I am joined tonight by Big B's over there to my right, to your left. I don't know, whatever. He's over there. Anyway, Big B, how's it going tonight, brother?
Going good. My Friday at work, so I get the next couple days off to kind of chill and relax and get ready for a busy week at work coming up. So always good to talk with my bros, though.
Yeah, I hear that. And someone we haven't seen in a while. I don't even know who that man is. He looks like he shaved off the mustache, so we can't call him P&W Stash anymore. But he is who we affectionately know as Sarge. How's it going tonight?
Oh, doing good. I'm live in the bunker, literally live in the bunker. So I hope you guys are doing good.
I think we're all doing great. A great weekend, great start to the week. Tell you, taking that new job, it's really mind draining, more than physically draining. Now I'm not on my feet as much, but man, it'll drain your mind pretty quick. That's for sure. But with that said, we're here tonight. We're going to talk about a couple different things. We were discussing before the show about the baseball playoff race. There really isn't a whole lot going on in that regard. But Sarge, why don't you tell us about how the Mariners are the team in the four major sports that have the longest playoff drought, and they're trying to extend that this year by giving it away.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to extend it because this road trip against Oakland and now against Kansas City has been horrible. Mariners are in that last spot of the wild card race. I believe they're about 3 games in front of Baltimore, who everyone laughed off at the end of the season. And I mean, yesterday's game was just I don't know. I don't want to talk about yesterday's game and the debacle that happened with that one, but I still have hope for the Mariners. I think they're going to make it. They haven't been in a playoff since 2001, and with between like Felix Hernandez and Ichiro and all that, and Kyle Seager, Ichiro is the only player that's notable was lastly in the playoffs for the Mariners. So we'll see what happens. I still think they're going to make it.
I mean, no offense, but wasn't Edgar Martinez still playing in 2001?
Probably. Most likely. Yeah, he was. But he was kind of at the end of his career, and Ichiro was at the beginning, or I should say in the prime of his career during that time. But it is what it is right now. But you'll see the Mariners in the playoffs.
Well, I guess that's your hope, is that we'll see them in the playoffs. Big B, how about your Twins?
I know they got a slim chance at the wild card. Pretty much got to run the table and hope everybody ahead of them falls flat on their face. But they're pretty much done. Just trying to stay healthy the rest of the 8-9 games they got left. Retool in the offseason, get some pitching, keep the hitters that we got. Hopefully Correa decides to stay, but most likely he'll opt out of his last 2 years. Try to get that 6 years that he wants. But yeah.
Well, you guys know how I'm about the stats, and so I look stuff up. So, by the way, the Twins, when they get eliminated from playoff contention, they'll only be one of 8 teams in the last 15 years that has had a division lead for more than 60 days during the season and not make the playoffs.
Yep, their inconsistency just caught up with them. I've been saying that pretty much all year, that, yeah, they look good on some days, and some days they look bad. They just cannot put a string of wins together to counter those losses that they've been getting. So just caught up to them.
Yep. It's been an interesting year for sure as far as baseball goes. But, of course, we have the Dodgers in the playoffs. We have let me ask you what you think about Pujols' comments about his 700 home run ball.
That just makes it more noticeable that he's about the fans and about the game and not about, keeping stuff to himself. I mean, he said that the souvenirs are meant for the fans. If they want to give it to him, great. If not, more power to him. So I give him props. I mean, I would give him the ball because, that would, I think, mean more to him than myself. But, also, on the other hand, to have a part of history, I can kind of be like, oh, yeah, maybe I would keep it. But,
well, I saw some fans on some of the Major League Baseball groups and on social media, and they're talking about, well, I'd give it back to him, but, he'd have to give me, 3 Bitcoin and 2 signed baseballs and a picture and a jersey. And you're like, dude, it's not yours.
yeah.
You're trying to hold ransom for something that doesn't belong to you.
Yeah,
So,
no. If honestly, if I got it and was to give it to him or any other player that hit that milestone, autograph, maybe a picture, maybe the game used batting gloves or something, or but the ball's theirs.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, didn't that happen to Tom Brady when he got the most touchdowns? The ball went to the stands and the fan gave it back, then Brady gave the fan some money, then the signed jersey and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
that's a
I can see
great
that happening.
segue into our next segment, by the way. It's a great segue into our next segment. Now, I know that there was a lot of injuries in the NFL this week, and I know that there was a lot of teams playing without their premier players, and I know that Brady was one of those. But through 3 games, Tom Brady ranks 23rd in the league in passing yards. Is it finally, I know it's 3 weeks. Let's not pretend like it's a whole season. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying doom time in Tampa because they are 2-1. But as far as Brady himself is concerned, do you think that this marriage hardship he's going through and father time is finally catching up with Tom Brady?
Well, you saw it the previous week when they were playing Dallas, was it? And he was throwing the iPads around. I mean, he's getting frustrated really easily. I said it in Morning Tailgate week 1, or maybe one of our preseason shows. I don't think Brady makes it all 17 games. I think either injury catches up to him, or they're bad enough to where he just takes a leave of absence at the towards the end of the year. But I don't think he's going to quarterback the whole year. I think he's done. I know we said it before. Once you talk and think retirement, you're pretty much retired.
I think so too. I think that's, and everyone's like, yeah, but it's Tom Brady. But I'm telling you, once you start thinking about, it's happened with a few other quarterbacks. You talk about Peyton Manning was one. They asked him about coming back, and he said no. Yep. They asked him about throwing the ball. He's like, hey, I could still throw the ball 70 yards. I could still fling the ball down the field. But it became about not wanting to go to the practices, not wanting to go to the OTAs, not wanting to get hit anymore. You found me a league where I could just stand back there and throw the ball. I could do that until I'm 80. That's not a problem. But and I saw it, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Packer fan, but I saw it yesterday. Brady got hit 4 or 5 times in that game. He got sacked a couple of times. The last one when he got hit, you could actually see him take some time to get off the field. He was, starting to feel those hits. Man, this is I'd signed up for another year of this. So what about you?
I think they had a lot of injuries on the offensive line too this offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like when Brady's on the ground, a little bit slower. Like, he's just and not.
Well, we kind of have Sarge. We can hear him a little bit. He's
I think that was Robot Sarge, I think.
Mr. Roboto.
Hey, am I back, Mister? Hey, am I back?
Yeah. Kind of.
Okay.
We heard you talking and we saw your lips move.
That's like I'm a ventriloquist. That's how it goes. So
There we go. There we go. No, that's great. No, I think you're back now. But do you have any thoughts on Brady?
well, at least he's playing better than Russell Wilson. That's all I got to say about that one.
I was going to bring that up next. Yeah, Russell Wilson. Man, I think that he's a wanted man by the FBI. He stole $245 million from the Broncos.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, they're 2-1, and are they going to get better? Probably, but man, they suck. You're talking about a team. You're talking about a team last year. Who was their quarterback last year? Anyone remember?
Luck,
Drew Lock.
Bridgewater,
Right, Drew
the
Lock.
guy in the first row in the end zone. I mean,
Well, no. So this is my point. That was their quarterback last year, and you look at they didn't make anything close to $245 million. And last year, through 3 weeks, they were averaging 18.2 points a game. This year with Russell Wilson, they're averaging 13.5.
yep.
Yeah, Russell Wilson isn't all that hype, and even in Seattle, like it was either between Russell or Pete Carroll who's leaving, and Seattle stuck with Pete Carroll because they knew what Russell Wilson was. So I think it was a good move with the Seahawks just saying, "See ya."
Now, with that, do we think Russell Wilson is a system quarterback?
That if he's not a system quarterback, then he needs the superstars around him to make him look good. Because I mean, look at the receivers he had last year. So and a pretty decent running game last year too. So,
well, and you look at both of his Super Bowl appearances were with Marshawn Lynch. So,
yeah,
had a great running game for both of those, and a great defense, I might add, with those as well.
And don't forget about the interception to end the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
right.
Bad call.
Bad.
But I mean, I think if you give Russell Wilson above average offensive line that can block 90% of the time, you might be able to get some production out of him. But where he's at now, he's going nowhere.
I was like, I'm with you on the offensive line. I thought you were going to say if you give him some decent quarterbacks or some decent wide receivers, and I was going to say Cortland Sutton.
No, he's got good receivers.
Who is it? Williams in the backfield.
Yep.
I mean, he's got the weapons.
Yep. No, he sure does. I mean, he might have been better off going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. All right, let's move on to the next NFL topic, which I think we'll talk about. As much as it pains me to talk about this, I think it does need some attention. The Jaguars are 2-1. Now it's 3 weeks into the season. Herbert was hurt yesterday he had a rib injury. You could see every time he got hit, he was in pain.
He probably should not have played.
He probably shouldn't have played yesterday. But with that said, he still threw for almost 300 yards yesterday, so he still was out there in pain playing a good game.
Yep.
We will revisit this in Week 10 if the Jaguars are still legitimate by then. I think that's a good time to revisit it halfway through the season. But I will say for 3 weeks, if I would have been a betting man and any of you would have said, I give you $500 if the Jaguars lead the AFC South through Week 3.
Oh yeah,
I would have took your money in a heartbeat because I would have thought that there's no way. I mean, hats off to them. They've had a great 3 weeks.
And I know there's somebody out there that's, blowing up everybody's Facebook page saying, "Look, see, I told you, they're coming. It's Jaguars here." So
Well, the Titans aren't what they were last year. The
No.
Titans are not going anywhere this year. Houston, to me, is the worst team in football. They're awful.
And honestly, at the beginning of the year, I would have said Cleveland's a mess, but they've actually shown that they can do it.
How about Jacoby Brissett? I mean, we can segue straight into that. Jacoby Brissett's out there. He knows he's losing his job week 10 when Deshaun Watson comes back. But, man, this guy's making every opportunity of the weeks that he's got.
Yep.
He is.
He's playing. He has nothing to lose because, like you said, J-Mac, he knows that Watson's going to be there week 10. So, he's going to go out and ball out and make it hard on the coaching staff to put Watson in there. So,
in the very wise words of John Madden when he was on the movie The Replacements, he's playing like there is no tomorrow because for him, well, there isn't. So
just like the Giants. The Giants are another team too. I mean, outside today, they didn't look so hot, but the first 2 games they played, they had nothing to lose.
Okay. Let's see, a couple more teams to go over quick. The only 3-0 teams left in the NFL. The Eagles are 3-0.
Yep.
And is there another one? Is there another 3-0 team?
There's the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, that's the other one. So who do we think is more of a contender at 3-0, the Eagles or the Dolphins?
Eagles, definitely Eagles.
I think they both are.
I would not be surprised if the Eagles actually, I know this is a stretch, go to the Super Bowl for the NFC. Because who's really there for the NFC as a power team? Because the Rams, they're not playing like the Rams.
Yeah. No, you're right, Sarge. I mean, that would be my early week 3. If I had to bet, I take the Eagles to make a run because, no team right now is showing, that they're got the defense to stop them. I mean, they're running all over the ball. The Vikings, look what they did last Monday night to the Vikings. The Commanders. I mean, they should have beat the Lions or they did beat the Lions. They could have lost that one. Or no, who was? Yeah,
No.
it was the Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they pulled it out. The good teams are going to pull out those games and beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. So, I'm with you, Sarge. I take the Eagles to make a deep playoff run, if not Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, if the Eagles say they make it to they're going to make it to the playoffs, I'm sure. 3-0. It's really hard to fall off of 3-0 and not make the playoffs.
Especially in that division.
Right. If they make a deep run in the playoffs, does Jalen Hurts have any chance at winning MVP this year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. I mean,
One thing I'll tell you is I took him like questionably in our fantasy draft, and I'm like, nah, I guess he's the best quarterback that's left. I'll take him. Well, he's the reason I've won 3 weeks in a row. It's been like 60 points, 58 points, 57 points, 3 weeks in a row. The guy's played lights out this year.
Yeah, he would definitely have to be up there. I mean, if he's putting up the stats, passing and running, and if they make the playoffs by the skin of their teeth, probably not. But if they're like 10 like 12-3, or even close to perfect. I don't know the schedule offhand, but he's got to be definitely a slam dunk MVP.
Well, you got to think of this. You got to think they haven't played. The only divisional opponent they played is the Commanders. So they still have 5 games left in the division against a Dakless Cowboys team. Then they have the Giants. The Giants, who are probably going to fold because that's what the Giants do. And they still have another game against the Commanders, who are lost. So you're talking 5 more wins right there. That's already 8 wins on the year.
Can I ask why the Commanders aren't high on Heineke, who took them to the playoffs or had that playoff win?
He took them to the playoffs and was within
almost beat Tampa.
Was within 5 points of beating Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't understand why Heineke's not the guy there.
I don't know.
Because Wentz has the money, or they owe Wentz more money. So,
but even before they got Wentz, I don't understand why he wasn't the guy.
I don't know. That's crazy. It's crazy how that stuff kind of works in sports. You get better players, probably some guys that should get a chance that don't. Um, interesting. What do we take away from the Chiefs losing to the Colts?
A shocker.
Bump in the road.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching those highlights right now. It just looked like Mahomes.
Well, he got upset about something. He wanted to go for it, and they're putting it on the offensive coordinator, what's his face, that he wanted to just take a knee or whatever, and Mahomes wanted to go.
I thought that was over that fourth down play.
Oh, it could have been, yeah. I know there was a big.
Well, there was a fourth down that Mahomes wanted to go for. Eric Bieniemy said no, pulled him off the field, and then they ran a fake punt, and the punter threw an incomplete pass at the feet of the running back and didn't even complete pass on fourth down. And I know that's what pissed Mahomes off. He's like, well, I could have went out there and done that.
Yeah. And who's the head coach there came out and said that, yeah, Mahomes wanted to go for it, but we, told him that we're going to do this, and he wasn't too happy. So,
well, there could be a reason why that offensive coordinator has not been hired, because I know he had a lot of opportunities for head coaching job. I know a lot of people praise him and all that, but there's other people interviews, and I think it was he blasted.
So there's Robot Sarge again.
Yeah.
Christy just joined. Hey, Christy, how's it going?
And I want to actually turn back to the Chargers game because we talked about Herbert, and the coach was getting blasted for having Herbert in the game late. And he said he talked to Herbert, he wanted to play, and so I give props to Herbert to wanting to be out there injured, even though the game's over, to stick it out with your teammates. So, gotta give him props.
Yeah, no, for sure. How about that ugly, ugly game on Sunday night?
The baseball game.
Yeah, one of those 11-10. But speaking of that, also, do you think Baker Mayfield is the future in Carolina? That was going to be a question I was going to ask you tonight.
No, he had horrible stats. If you really dive into it, like he's not the future. I've been saying this. Mm-hmm. He's the best quarterback that the Panthers had since Cam Newton in 2010. So he's an upgrade to Sam Darnold, but he's not the answer.
Yeah. So I was hoping Mess Around was going to be on here because I have to pick on him about Justin Fields. Now I know Chicago's 2-1, okay, but Fields is awful.
Well, what do you expect? He's an Ohio State quarterback.
I know he's not good. So I saved this picture where they showed that he is the 33rd ranked QBR quarterback in the NFL. Anyone know how many teams in the NFL there is?
There's 32.
Right, and he ranks 33rd.
Who's the backup that's in there?
No, it's actually Trey Lance and Jimmy G are both ahead of him in QBR.
Well, but the thing is I mean, the Bears. We know the Bears are in rebuild mode. I think they got like 120 plus million under the cap next year, so they're going to be a totally different look team next year. Not saying that that's going to make a big difference in Fields unless he gets some weapons around him, but I mean they're 2-1. I mean wins talk. So
wins talk, that's for sure.
Yep.
How about the Raiders being 0-3? The only 0-3 team in football.
That's a shocker. I know a lot of people. I was reading that they've already won Daniel's head already. So
look what he did in Denver, though. Josh McDaniels. He didn't do anything. So because when he took over the Broncos, he already had a playoff team with them, like built playoff team.
Yeah, it's true, but some guys are just great coordinators, but they're horrible head coaches.
Yep.
Like coordinator for the.
I'll even throw out Mike Tice, former coach of the Vikings. Heck of an offensive line coach / coordinator, but when he got that job, he couldn't do nothing right. So,
Yeah, that's true. To me, it's just like who was I going to bring up? Matt Patricia. I mean, he went to the Lions as the head coach and ended up back in New England again as a coordinator because he couldn't hack it as a head coach.
Did he win another Super Bowl with New England again once he went back?
No, I think he just went back this year because he just got fired. Or last year, before last year. Yeah, before.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, so that's what's going on in the world of football. World of the NFL. Let's see what else went on today. We didn't have very many baseball games today. I don't know if anyone noticed that. There was only 4 today. Most teams had the day off. The Pirates beat the Reds 8-3 in a who gives a crap game. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees in 10 innings, 3-2. Aaron Judge did not hit number 61, and he's still stuck on 60. The Orioles beat the Red Sox 14-8. And then the Braves beat the Nationals 8-0 today. The Nationals lost their 100th game of the year, their first team to 100 losses. They are not good. But one note in that game is that Bryce Elder for the Braves. Now, this is a stat that blew me away. As big of an Atlanta Braves fan as I am, I thought there was no way this was possible, but it is. Elder had a complete game shutout today as a rookie. He's the first Braves rookie to throw a shutout since 1990.
Really?
Yes. The last one to do it was Steve Avery back in 1990.
Really? I thought
Oh, wow.
there was a Braves rookie that threw a no-hitter in the mid-90s. Oh, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought...
You know what? I'm with you. I thought there was too, but apparently
Wood was part of his name. I think I'll have to look, but yeah, I thought he threw like a no-hitter like within the first month of him being called up or something.
You know, I thought so too, but I got to say how big of a performance that was. Yesterday, they played in a game against the Phillies, and it was an 11-inning game, first off, but there was a 2.5-hour rain delay in the middle. So they literally played baseball for 7 hours yesterday with a 2.5-hour rain delay in the middle and used 7 bullpen pitchers yesterday in the game. So for him to come out and throw a complete game shutout today, you gave them an entire day off where they had to use nobody out of the bullpen. That's huge when you're going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's huge in baseball in general today because you don't see pitchers going the distance.
No, you do not. And he threw like 112 pitches, so it wasn't like he was really low on his pitch count. But you were winning 8-0, so you could go out there and give up a run, and it wasn't really a big deal.
Yeah.
Let's see what else happened today. There was some. Hockey is in preseason, or what they call split squad season. The Panthers beat the Predators 4-3. The Devils beat the Canadiens 2-1. The Rangers beat the Islanders 4-1. The Blues beat the Stars 4-0. Predators beat the Panthers 4-0. The Kraken beat the Oilers 3-0. And the LA Kings beat the Golden Knights 2-1 in overtime. Yeah, they play overtime in preseason. I didn't know that either. And, of course, the NFL game that was on tonight, the Cowboys beat the Giants 23-16. And then the only other thing going on today, this President's Cup is going right now in the PGA. Team USA retains the President Cup. Oh, actually, they won it today. They retained it with a score of 17.5 to 12.5. Now, if I understood what the scoring meant in that, I could actually explain it to you. I believe it's something like how many holes you win based on the number that you're going in. There's a number you have to get to, and that number is 17.5. And whoever wins for 17.5 wins the match. So, but I don't know exactly how the scoring goes, but I do know that. The Red Sox were eliminated from playoff contention. Thanks for that, Christy. I think that was something we already knew, though, like 4 weeks ago.
What about the big NFL news that came out yesterday or this morning that they're going to have no Pro Bowl? It's going to be more of an Olympic style.
They actually said that they're going to do a flag football game, which I think is totally a cool idea. I think I think more people will watch it. I think the reason nobody watched it is because the guys went out there and they just didn't try. They just made it look like they were just out there walking because they had so many friggin' rules on that game. You can't hit the quarterbacks. You can't.
Quarterback can't run.
Right. So it's just way too many rules on there. And this way, at least they're going to be playing a game. Like they'll have an actual competition. And I always like the skills challenge. I'm one of those people that watches those when they come out because I think it's pretty cool on that. So that'll be nice. It'll be a whole week. And it'll give the fans a chance to go wherever that's going to be. And
wasn't it ABC that used to have a yearly quarterback challenge? They get the top 10 quarterbacks, and I used to love watching that.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh won a couple of those because he took that seriously.
Well, and I watched one of those the other day. I believe it was 96 or 97 because it had Drew Bledsoe, Brett Favre, Vinny Testaverde, Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh, right? Yeah, he's the one that played, not John. Anyway, and they had the how far you could throw the ball, so the distance challenge. And Favre and Bledsoe are throwing the ball like 75, 77 yards, something like that. And Harbaugh's leading by, 21, 22 points overall in the competition. So he's only got to throw it like 48 yards. And I think he threw it like 54. And they asked him if he could throw it further. And he's like, no, I'm surprised I hit 54, to be honest.
That's great. I love comments like that because Leroy Hort always had a good one too. Getting interviewed for the Vikings, and he said, "Give me the ball. I'll get you 3 yards if you need 3. If you need 4 more, or you need 4 yards, I'll get you 3."
Right. That definitely those little things definitely help. Well, that time in the show, let's see. Tonight, Sarge is here. So, what are we gonna do tonight? That's right. It's that time. It's JMax Roulette.
Oh boy.
And we'll see. I think that we should. I don't think we should go with, away from Would You Rather just because Sarge is here and he never has to answer these questions.
Well, we should give him a lot of wife. We should give him a lot of wife questions because his wife's not there. So.
Well, speaking of that, then I guess the first one that comes up will be a nice one for him.
All right.
By the way, don't forget to find Coast to Coast Entertainment on the Amazon Fire TV. Now, you can't find it on the Amazon app. You have to have the Amazon Fire Stick to find it. If I'm right, Sarge, correct me if I'm wrong. But it is on the Amazon Fire TV. And if you look up Coast to Coast, we're the first thing that pops up if you have the Fire Stick.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. So, Sarge, your first question for Would You Rather? Would you rather have another 10 years guaranteed with your partner or trade it for a one-night stand with your celebrity crush?
I get 10 years of one-night stands if I stay with my partner, so I'll do that.
Oh, God, that's great. That's awesome. Oh, I got to find another good one here.
What was the one you asked Dragon Viper a few weeks ago?
Oh, yeah. That would be a good one. And I think Sarge would answer. Dragon Viper wouldn't answer it. I actually remember what both of them are, so we could go with that one. But let's ask you this one, and then we'll go into those other two and see if you'll actually answer them today. Would you rather work an overtime shift with your annoying boss or spend a full day waiting hand and foot on your mother-in-law?
I'll be at work.
Oh God, that's great. Okay, so the first one that we asked Dragon Viper to see if you would answer would be your sister and your wife switch bodies.
Okay.
To get their bodies back to where they were, you have to sleep with one of them.
Okay.
Which one are you picking?
So my wife is my sister's body.
Yep.
And your sister has your wife's body, and it's still
And
your
my-
sister.
Is it their minds that or their minds that switched, or
Take it however you want. I don't really know. It doesn't clarify in the question.
I wouldn't know the difference. So I'll stick with the wife because I don't have any siblings.
And then the other one that we asked Dragon Viper, and he would not answer, with his mom watching, by the way. That's what made this next one great. His mom was watching when we asked this.
Oh,
And it was, would you rather walk in on your parents or have your parents walk in on you?
No, it's payback time. They can walk on me.
sounds like a story that we're going to get on another episode, I think.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we go to Big B now. Would you rather have a third nipple or an extra toe?
I'll go extra toe. I don't know. They're both kind of freaky.
Okay.
Unless something shoots out the third nipple, I know. But
Let's get another good one here. Would you rather spend the weekend with Michael Scott or Mr. Burns?
I'll go Mr. Burns. Might be able to get some money off of him.
Excellent.
Would you rather give up cussing forever or give up ice cream for 12 years?
Oof.
Let me see. Let's go cussing because you can always find words that kind of mean the same thing.
Okay. Last one. Would you rather celebrate the 4th of July with Miley Cyrus? Okay, think about what song that's going to bring up. Or spend an entire Christmas season with Mariah Carey?
Mariah Carey.
I
You
think
could have put Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. You could have put anybody at Christmas. I would have said that over Miley Cyrus.
All right. Well, that's it for Would You Rather tonight and JMax Roulette. Well, Sarge, thanks for coming back on the show, man. It was great.
Yeah.
It's always fun when you're here. Always fun when you're not here. More fun when you're here, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still watch when I'm out there. I still watch you guys.
Yeah, that's good to know. And Chris will be back with us on Fridays. He can no longer do the Monday shows. He's a working man now. Got to go to bed because he's got to be up to get to work in the morning.
So what you're saying is Chris is actually bringing home the bacon.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. And you kind of played into where I was going to go with that on Friday. Is I was actually going to ask Crispy how much bacon he brought home this week. That was going to be one of the plays on Friday. I was still going to do it.
I would.
Yeah.
We got to ask him if it's crispy bacon or if it's floppy bacon.
Right. And maybe we'll get Mess Around back on here. He's usually on Fridays. Maybe we'll get Dragon Viper back on someday. Who the hell knows at this point?
I think we need to put a missing report out on Dragon Viper, I think.
I think so, too. There's a few other people in the network we might need to put a missing report out, person's report out on.
Bolo reports out.
Right? For sure. Be on the lookout. Anyway, Big B, give us something to get us out of here.
No, just check us out tomorrow, or myself out tomorrow on Deck and Tuesday Night Mania. Just keep checking out Coast to Coast all week long. We got new shows in the works. We got great shows coming back every week. I know J-Mac's getting primed for his big event on October 8th, so I'll let him explain that, but just keep checking us out.
APB for Dragon Viper is what Tim Hendricks is saying. Tim, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. And Sarge.
It is good to be back for a little bit, so I'll be back for a little bit. And if you guys haven't watched Facing Ryan, it's a documentary about Nolan Ryan on Netflix, so check that out. It is actually pretty good.
Oh.
And check out Coast to Coast, because since I'm on location, I might doing some live videos if I have some good reception on that one. So just check it out.
Sounds good, man. And what Big B's referring to is National Signing Day for the Women's Football Alliance is October 8th. We're going to be there live. We're going to make a big event out of it. We're going to be there talking to them. We're going to do National Signing Day. Hopefully get some candid interviews, one-on-one. And get to know some of them. We're also going to play some music, have some good time, maybe do some trivia, some drawings. There's all kinds of things we're going to bring up that day. So it's going to be awesome. I believe it's going to start around 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. So it's 1 o'clock Eastern. So watch for that. It's going to go for 4 hours, around 4 hours anyways, is the plan at this point. So yeah, you get to see our great faces for 4 straight hours. That should be pretty amazing for you. But that's what's going on, and that'll be on the 8th. So a week from this Saturday, 13 days from today. Is J-Mac getting Amazon Primed? Well, maybe. But anyway, we thank you for watching, listening, however you're getting us right now. We really appreciate every single one of you. We could not do this without you. Lifelong dreams being lived in front of your very eyes. And for Big B and Sarge, this is J-Mac. We'll see you all on the other side.
Bye, Felicia.